At this point in the course, we're moving into clinical applications. So we're looking at how we can use phonetic information to support therapy goals. So in last week's discussion, you were to analyze accented speech. So the idea there is that you're looking for patterns. This is sort of like what we do with phonological processes. So we listen to a speech sample, we analyze the errors, and we look for patterns. In some cases, Rebecca and I tried to give some redirection to encourage people who had listed just errors, which are examples, to move towards patterns. I mean, I think you can see in the redirection we gave and in some of the announcements, I was really pushing patterns. The idea is that if you hear someone say something like the word made as mate, and you think, oh, that sounded more like a T. Well, then you listen for other Ds, and you see, does this only happen at the ends of words? Does it happen at the beginning? Does it happen with other voice consonants? You start looking through the sample to see if that example is actually part of a larger pattern, okay? That's what you should be doing. The other thing that Rebecca and I tried to push was the idea of vowels. So in speech therapy with children with articulation problems, consonants are where you spend most of your time. And it's pretty rare that you're going to work on vowels. There are some cases, some disorders that have vowel problems, but most focus on consonants. Not so with accent modification. Vowels are a major part of accent modification. So you needed to look at the vowels, okay? This is all going to be very important for next week. And if you didn't quite get there in last week, you need to be able to get there for this last discussion, okay? So you might have to do a little extra work. Here's what I want you to think about. Does your description, and this is really important, does your description characterize the accent? In other words, you might have said, well, I gave like 3 patterns and some examples. It's not about fulfilling the prompt. That's part of it. You have to fulfill the prompt, but you also have to be clear. Let me give you an example. So many of you talked about de-rhoticized vowels, so the loss of R after the vowel. First of all, notice that it's after the vowel. We don't typically lose the R before the vowel, and that should be specified. But many accents lose an R. There are southern accents where you lose an R. There's British accents where you lose R. There's African accents where you lose R. There's lots of them, right? So when you are going to write a set of patterns to characterize an accent, could someone look at your patterns that you've listed and match it to the sample? So if we took the description you gave and then just showed the clips, could someone read your description and say, ah, they're talking about that accent? That's what you should be able to do. Go back to your sample if you haven't already. Look for the vowels that are the hallmark differences. Characterize it. The reason why is because now we're going to go into prioritizing. If you describe something like which reduced vowel they chose, we're never going to target that. And you know that from this course. We just don't care which reduced vowel we use in a reduced syllable. However, if they don't use reduced vowels at all, that could be important. So look at those. You're going to need to dig deep in order to apply what we did last week for this week. Let me know if you need help. Okay? Thanks.